What's up everybody, JJ Shankles, the Goat Toasters here, back with a video, and first I want to say, I was wrong. In my older video, I said I didn't like this lens, and that's why I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it in the kit. It's the kit lens for the Nikon Z6 that I'm shooting on. It's the 24-70 f4. You read the title, you read this video, that's why you clicked on it. But I wanted to talk about this lens and how much I like it. I initially looking at it, and then I just tried it out in a couple stores, and I really didn't like it. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to buy it with the kit lens, and I'll just buy f-mount lenses and modify it. Because we already had a couple f-mount lenses. My girlfriend shoots Nikons already, so we had a couple lenses, and we were just going to adapt f-mount lenses. That way she could use them, I can use them. But then I found a used one on eBay and bought it used, and so got a great deal on it, better than it would have been if I'd bought it in the kit. So I'm glad I did wait, because I got a little deal on it, but it's amazing. I'm going to talk about some of the things I love about it, a couple of things I don't like about it, but overall I do think it's a positive lens because it's on my camera almost all the time. I've shot most of the videos on this channel for the last good while on this lens actually. So let's get into it. Tea time first. Alright, so the positive of this lens, it's great. 24-70 is such a good range. You can shoot everything from kind of wide to kind of zoom. It gives you that whole little bit of everything lens. If you put this one lens on there, if I'm going out and I don't know what I'm shooting, I'll take this. If I know I'm shooting sports or something far away, I'll take the 70-200. This is a big lens, and I'll take that only if I need it. Similar with a wide angle. Currently I'm shooting on the 18-35 by Nikon. And so if I went into wide shots, if I'm going to do some landscape, sort of something where I want that wide angle, then I'll take the wide angle. But if I don't know what I'm shooting, or I'm going to be shooting about everything, and I don't want to change lenses at all, 24-70 covers it. And I'll show you a couple clips of those situations where I was like, this is how wide it goes, this is how tight it goes, and you can get anywhere in between. So here's some of those pictures. So I was initially scared by that f4 on this lens across all range. I was coming from the Fuji X-T2. It's a cropped sensor, and there it went down to 2.8, and I really loved that. That just let in a lot of light, and I always wished I had more light than that. And so I was like, I don't really want to downgrade to an f4, but I didn't know a couple things. I didn't know how good the Z6 was at low light, and I wasn't factoring in that crop factor also goes to the f-stop. So this is like a 2.8 on a crop sensor across the range. And the Z6 is amazing at low light. You can crank this thing, the ISO just keeps going up, and you don't really notice it. And so I don't think you should be scared away by that f4 like I was. I regret it, and I'm glad I fixed my mistake. The other thing I didn't like about this lens is you have to unclick it before you can shoot. So it goes down to there, and you can't take a picture at that. You have to unclick. It goes to 24 all the way out to 70. And playing with it in a store, it just seemed like a cheap little gimmicky thing, similar to how some of their cheaper kit lenses, they'll have a button to make you unlock it. And I've heard all different explanations for it. But the one explanation I finally did like is thinking of it as a travel mode. This is travel mode. This is shooting mode. This is a very small, compact lens. You know, fits in the palm of my hand normally, and so this fits in a bag very easily. And then when it's ready to shoot, instead of having to pack this away, you get to pack this away. When you think of it that way, getting your mindset stuck on that really helped me understand what it's doing and being like, okay, I kind of like that. A big usability difference between this one and most f-mount lenses is the silent autofocus. With this lens on there, I can leave the camera on AF full, and when vlogging or shooting a shot like this, I can have it constantly be focusing on my face, and it's doing these micro adjustments to keep me in focus. With this lens, the 18-35 by Nikon, if I leave autofocus on, it'll just be, it's constant, the motor is so loud and moving back and forth, and you'll see focus breathing. There's a couple shots I've done in my videos where I've used this, and it's just really bad, where it's constantly focusing. The focus breathing is really bad because it's a photography lens. Nikon hasn't really been a video lens maker until now. And now we've got a video lens from Nikon. This ring on here is set initially to adjust focus on the lens, but since it is a digital system, you can change it in the camera to adjust other settings, which is super cool. Another gripe is the lens hood. I know I'm being a little nitpicky, but that's just too wide, I think. I think it just flares out too much compared to a lot of the other Nikon lenses where it just kind of keeps extending straight out. So putting this in your camera bag, you have to account for this width, not just the lens width. I think it's just a little big. Even if you put it backwards on here, which this is how I sometimes store it in the camera bag, it's just so much wider than the lens is. It just seems like an unnecessary thing. They could have made it a little sleeker, like they do on all their other lenses. I know, getting nitpicky, but this is a review. I want to tell you what I like, what I love, what I don't like as much. So we're gonna nitpick. Back to something I love. The lens cap here is so great. I don't like a lot of my other Nikon lens hoods. They just don't clip on as easily. It's just got a large teeth here to clip onto a large rim on the lens. Whereas a lot of the other ones, the Nifty 50 from Nikon, you struggle to get the little teeth to grab on because it's these tiny clamps hooking onto a tiny ledge on the lens. I don't know, it's just harder to do, and with this one it works really well. The build quality is a combination between metal and plastic, which I think they did a good job marrying the two, because you'll get metal where it counts, like on the lens mount, but for a lot of the other parts, like most of this zoom part, is just plastic. It's high quality plastic, and I do think it's pretty durable and it will last for a while, but that makes it not too heavy and not too light by kind of combining the two. And one little benefit is not having to use the FTZ adapter. That's just one extra thing that makes the lens stick out even farther from your camera, and just being able to carry this straight to the camera was a nice addition. After shooting a bunch of f-mount lenses and always having the adapter on there, I kind of just got used to the lens being really long. It takes away from the compactness of a mirrorless camera. You got this brand new mirrorless camera, and now put an adapter on it and a big lens on it, so you got this tiny camera with a huge lens hanging out the front of it. But with this, it's nice to be able to put it right on there. It's very sleek, very compact. But that about wraps it up. I do wish I'd gotten this lens sooner, and I really enjoy using it. I was wrong to say only stick with f-mount lenses, but if you only have f-mount lenses, or you can only afford the upgrade to the Z6, and you can't buy a full set of Z lenses, because there honestly aren't that many Z lenses. But don't let that scare you away from the Z6. I was wrong in my previous video by saying f4 is not good enough. f4 is amazing with full frame. If this was cropped, if this was with my Fuji X-T2, that was decent at low light, but not actually great, an f4 across the range would not have been a good lens. I wouldn't have liked it, and I would not have shot with it as much as I shoot with this lens on the Z6. I really enjoy shooting it with f-mount lenses, and now that I have a Z-mount lens, I really do appreciate the Z-mount lens and how good they are. But let me know if you have any questions down below, usability questions. I know when I was initially shopping, I had a lot of questions, and so if you have any of those, pop them down below, and I'll try to get back to you with that. While you're down there, make sure you like and subscribe. If you stuck this long through the video, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. It's amazing to see this channel growing, and I want to thank every single one of you that subscribe and keep coming back to my videos. Go out there, take amazing video, take amazing pictures. Well, in this time of year, 2020, don't go outside. Stay away from people. Social distancing, make sure you're washing your hands often and following what the CDC recommends. Hope you have an amazing day. Go Toaster out.